Cocaine Bear. What is Cocaine Bear? Who is Cocaine Bear? And why is Cocaine Bear?
Bear did cocaine!
Cocaine Bear has been out for a week now, and my god, this film has to be seen to be believed. This is a 70s to 80s killer animal movie in the modern day, essentially. Or an asylum movie with a big budget. You know exactly what I'm talking about. This film's just like Sharktopus, Sharknado, Piranhaconda, Mega Shark vs Giant Octopus, and many, many, many more. So this is one of the strangest movies to be released in a long time, certainly the strangest I've ever covered. And that weirdness alongside the movie's nature and what it was trying to go for really worked to leave an impression. Let me explain. I saw Cocaine Bear with a friend on release day. We had an absolute blast. The movie was genuinely pretty good compared to what the title would have you believe. This movie is a simple story of a bear finding cocaine and going on a bloody coked up rampage. That's all you need to know, because when you watch it, this movie with no expectations and just a clear mind, it will genuinely surprise you. Like, I had zero to no expectations for this movie. So when I went in, my god, was it a pleasant surprise. Especially considering the movie is rated 15 and it has so much gore and violence and coke in it in just all the right places. The standout scene for me definitely was the ambulance chase scene, with genuinely clever framework and timing just being chef's kiss. To the little gags alongside the terror of the characters, it's so goofy but plays it so straight to a point where the over-the-top gore heightens the comedy tenfold. Like, when the ambulance is driving at top speed, the bear is still running on a coke-fueled rampage, with it smashing through signs and somehow still gaining speed as it launches itself in the air and wrestles a guy in the actual ambulance itself. And when I say wrestle, I mean tears him apart, just limbs start falling off, blood goes everywhere, and you just see him try to reach out for his friend, his arm slides off. This whole scene is masterful in stupidity, and it just ends with the ranger falling out of the ambulance, tied down to a stretcher, sliding on her face all the way across a road as it's just going, and just to see the ambulance crash and launch this woman out the window like she just fell out of the sky, and then just after all that you just see the bear walk off like nothing happened. I cannot stress this enough, the movie is really funny. The opening alone had me dying with an unexpected plane gag, then later on with the bear sleeping on the guy. This film knows what it's trying to do, it's not something game changing, and it rolls with it. And unlike other movies, Cocaine Bear, despite being ridiculous, still puts effort in, so that the movie's not boring with the characters. Yeah, the one difference I'd say with it compared to asylum movies is the fact that it actually has a budget and that it's not completely boring outside the actual animal stuff. The CGI alone, it looks pretty good actually, considering what it is. Not perfect, but for a film called Cocaine Bear, you get something very good. The characters are fine enough, nothing spectacular, although they act like cartoon characters come to life, and it works. I don't know how, it just works. The best way I could describe them would be like they're characters from Alvin and the Chipmunks or Yogi Bear, just there to fill up time and then playing their role seriously, despite it being stupid what's going on, it just works so well. Like, there's this detective who is tired and is trying to climb up a gazebo and failing miserably, so what happens? A few seconds later, he's just up there. And the way he delivers his line on how he got up there is so unbelievable and stupid, but the performance of the actor alone sells you on the fact that he did it. And that just somehow makes it more hilarious. The actors being able to play their roles so seriously, despite all the events being absurd, is honestly, it's surprising. And it just heightens the comedy so well. I suppose if I had one major complaint about this is that I wish we got to see how the bear actually found cocaine and maybe get some trippy sequences. But other than that, that's pretty much it. This film feels so refreshing amongst the constant sequels and franchises nowadays. Like, I saw Ant-Man Quantumania before this, and my god, I struggle to remember anything that happened in that bloated mess. But here, it's so focused on just taking a step back from reality and putting on a single show that easily leaves a bigger impression than Ant-Man Quantumania.
You're an embarrassment.
This movie didn't need a sequel setup or series, it was just a movie and that's enough. It reminds me so much of the 80s when you have those one-off slasher movies or killer animal flicks. You didn't need a sequel, one was enough. And judging by the film's box office, I'm not the only one who feels this. Like with Quantumania, it gets worse the more I think about it. While I was watching it, I had a good enough time, but when I put some thought into it, it's just nothing special. It's just the same things we've seen before, it just plays it safe essentially. And for the big star of Phase 5, it's kinda pathetic. And you know it's pathetic when a film about a cocaine bear is able to make something feel more special. And honestly, I hope this movie does well, so that we can get some more fresh ideas and risk-taking movies again. Because my god, this film, when it was first announced, everyone thought it was a joke. No one believed this film was actually gonna come out. But my god, was it worth waiting for? If you're gonna watch this film, don't expect anything spectacular. Don't expect, like, great storytelling. This is a fun movie for fun time. With the way movies and shows are, and social media are right now, it feels like a war zone. But with this movie, it just feels like a treat. And that's something that cinema's been lacking so much recently. Stuff that just feels good, and still respects its audience enough to give us something worth watching. This is the right way to make something so bad it's good. But in this case, it's pretty much just good.
Life is good, but it can be better.
You know, it's something you will put on now and again, and just to get a good laugh out of, especially with friends. And if you have friends, especially with them, this film is an absolute roller coaster of hilarity. So, though this is not a perfect movie, it's a fun and dumb movie that took a risk and it paid off. And it just goes to show that maybe the best movie we need isn't a sequel or a franchise, but a simple movie called Cocaine Bear.